guys, Teresa here. Welcome back to my channel, Lost My Thread. Today I'm going to be doing a roundup of everything I've made in the month of May. May felt like a pretty productive month for me. I do go through a little space of where I'm doing a bit more activity, I'm a little bit more busy, getting a bit more done, and this was certainly one of those months. I will start by telling you about a project that I can't share with you in very much detail because it was a pattern test that I did for Jennifer Lauren Handmade. I think the only thing that I can really show you is the fabric because it's so wonderful. I want you to at least just see what I was working with. This fabric is from Sewn Sunshine. It is a beautiful viscose linen blend. It's got amazing drape to it. It's a lovely, beautiful blue color with those nice pops of yellow. I really love the colorway. I feel like this fabric is just so comfortable to wear. It was so great to work with. I feel like viscose linen blends are one of my favorites because they've got a little bit of the best of both worlds. It's got the linen element, so there's a nice linen texture, slubby texture to it, which I really like. It feels nice and cooling against the skin. It's very comfortable. But with the weight of the viscose, it's got that nice drape to it. It's a bit lighter. It's also a bit less prone to wrinkling. Not to say that it doesn't, but it's not as wrinkly as just straight up linen is going to be. And I think this is a really wonderful make that I'm gonna want to wear a lot of. And I'll share it with you as soon as I'm allowed to because I think you guys are gonna love it as well. Okay, now stuff I can actually tell you about. Now I am wearing one of my favorite me-made items in a long time. I am so in love with this top. This is the Adrienne Blouse by Friday Pattern Company, and there have been so many Adrienne blouses around. It's a really popular pattern. I saw it, but I didn't especially think it was for me. I felt like it was really beautiful. I love the sleeves, those incredible big drapey sleeves with these lovely gathers at the shoulders, gathering together at the end of the sleeve as well. I just felt like the fit around the bust and the body just a little bit too tight. It didn't seem very relaxed in the bust area in particular, and I felt like it was going to be a huge hassle to get it to fit me right, and I just decided it probably wasn't something I needed until I saw a few versions on Instagram that changed my mind. So there were some really beautiful versions by people who have a similar enough body shape to mine or had paired it with things that I really loved, and I decided I needed to just have a go because I felt like it would be a great versatile piece, and I'm so glad that I did. So the key features of this top is there's a nice little neckband that goes into the elastic that gathers everything up at the sleeve. It's obviously very, very gathered. It's a lot of fabric here. And then it's about a sort of three-quarter length sleeve, a little bit just past the elbow there. You can have this a bit looser or you can have it a bit tighter. I don't want to have mine too loose because I feel like it will get caught on doorknobs all the time. I feel like this ended up working out quite well. It does work well with a floaty, stretchy fabric. So this is a viscose jersey. It's a John Kaldor viscose jersey that I got from Minerva. When I ordered it, I was expecting it to be pretty lightweight. It turned out it's more of a kind of medium-y weight, which I think is nice. It's super, super soft, but it was pretty see-through when I took it out of the box or took it out of the bag, which I wasn't necessarily expecting. So I was a little bit worried that it wasn't going to work. But I think because it sits close against my body, it's not like any light is shining through. It doesn't have any problems being a top, but I probably wouldn't have wanted to make a full dress out of it, for example. When other people have made this blouse, a lot of them have said that they had wished that they had sized up or they would recommend sizing up. It is meant to have a lot of negative ease around the bodice area. It's meant to be quite tight, but I didn't necessarily want that, particularly in the bust area. I didn't want it to be overstretched. And so I ended up going for a large in the bust and a extra large in the waist and the hip, which was a size up from what my recommended size would have been. I also did a 1.5 inch full bust adjustment. I didn't necessarily want it to be super skin tight, and I really like the silhouette that I ended up with in the end. I feel like this one is really great both tucked in and also worn outside of your garments. I feel like it's so versatile, and because it's black, I don't have any black tops, which is kind of crazy. It's gonna go with so much, which is great, and I really love the style of it. It's really pretty and feminine and elegant and a whole lot of fun. I feel like when I'm wearing it, I can't help but just like constantly, I'm just gonna point over there, just be really dramatic with my movements because I enjoy these sleeves so much. So yeah, I really, really found this one to be a big win, and I went ahead and made 2 more versions already. The first one I'm going to show you is a blush pink version. So I made this in, it's supposedly the same fabric. It's a John Kaldor viscose jersey, but this is definitely less soft. It's a little bit more, I would say a little bit more structured of a fabric. It's very drapey and everything, but just the fibers feel like maybe it's a bit of a finer weave. It's a lot more opaque as well. So though theoretically I was ordering the same fabric, it's not really the same, but I do still really love this one, and I feel like it's maybe just slightly less stretchy, so it's a little bit more tight across the bust, but I do still really like the way that it looks in the end. One thing that I did do as well, because I did this full bust adjustment on the back of the shirt, the front and back pieces are meant to be the same piece on the normal version if you don't do a full bust adjustment, so I knew it was going to be a nightmare to be able to work out which was the front and which was the back because the pieces look so similar. And so I ended up putting a little sewing label. Let me bring this up to the camera so that you can see. Hopefully you can see this is the back. I also put that on the back of this one as well. So this is a Kylie in the Machine sewing label that I think is just a really cute one. It gets to the point of what it's about. So it tells you that it's the back, and that's the whole purpose of a little sewing label there. But I think this one turned out really well. I love the color. It's a nice blush pink fabric, again from Minerva. I got them both from Minerva at the same time. And I just wanted to show you as well, because this one, it does, I will say, it's quite loose on the shoulders here, and they can slip off. I didn't want them to be constantly slipping off and revealing my bra, so I added a little loop. I'll show you with it closed up because I've unbuttoned them here. I made a little a little thread loop, which hopefully you can see there. And I've attached that to a snap, and I've attached a snap on the inside of the little strap there. So that way I can slip my bra inside here when I'm wearing it. So that way it's not going to move past my bra. If it slides down, it's taking my bra with it, but my bra's not going anywhere. So I did that on the sleeve, on the little shoulder seams of all of my Adrienne tops that I've made. One thing I have to mention, because this is a mistake that I made, and I made it 3 times. I don't know if you've ever had this happen before, where you make a mistake and then you recognize the mistake and you go to try and fix it and you make the mistake again. Yeah, it definitely has happened to me before. And it is pretty comical by the 3rd time, I tell you. I start to just lose it and laugh by the time I've done it the 3rd time. But what I ended up doing, there are elastic straps that go, or little elastic pieces, I should say, that go on the edge of the cuff, and elastic pieces that go on the shoulder strap. I cut all of my elastic out in the beginning, so it's different measurements for each. And when I was putting them together, I got the size swapped around. So this piece is shorter than this piece around here. In my mind, I felt like the end of a sleeve would be a smaller elastic piece than a shoulder strap. So I think that's why in the first place I ended up swapping them around. And this pattern is great that it recommends that you try it on when you've put the elastic on the shoulder seam before you do your final seam, just like do a basting stitch, just to check that the elastic is the right length. And when I did that, it was super low down and the elastic was really long, and I felt like, wow, that's an odd decision. I'm gonna shorten that elastic significantly. And I ended up taking something like 4 inches off, and then it sat where I wanted it and I stitched it in place, and then I put the elastic in the cuff. When I tried it on, it was tight. I mean, it was like tourniquet kind of tight. And I felt like, wow, that's really loose. Or, I mean, sorry, that's really tight on the sleeve. I'm gonna have to actually go in and add an extra length of elastic there. And I thought, I'm such a different shape from what their block was designed for. It seemed really peculiar. And it was only after I'd finished redoing the elastic on the sleeve and I'd shortened the elastic on the shoulder seam that I realized that I'd swapped them round. So I had used the long piece of elastic at the shoulder seam and the short piece of elastic at the cuff, but it was meant to be the other way around. So of course I had a lot of excess elastic on the shoulder, and of course the one around the wrist was not long enough because I'd used the wrong pieces of elastic. So when I went to make these Adrienne blouses again, I was confident that I'd learned my lesson and I was not going to make that mistake again. I made a point that, right, these are the short ones. I'm going to put the short strips of elastic over here and the longer strips of elastic over here so I don't get confused. I don't accidentally use the wrong one. And what did I go ahead and do? I stitched them the wrong way around again on both the second top and the dress that I made. And I didn't even base stitch this time because I was confident. I knew what I wanted the length to be because I'd made it before, stitched them all in, and then realized as soon as I put it on and the top was way down low again, I used the wrong piece of elastic again. And then I had to unpick all of my serge stitches, redo it all again. It was pretty funny by the end of it, but I tell you, you'd think you'd learn the lesson the first time. It took me 3 times, and I'm really hoping next time around I do not make the same mistake again. My plan, I think, is to not cut any elastic in advance, and when I get to the point where I need the elastic and I'm about to install it, I'm going to read the length that they want for that exact bit of elastic and cut it then, put it in place, and hopefully that will be my problem solved. The next version of the Adrienne blouse I have is the dress hack. So the Friday Pattern Company actually have a YouTube channel, and they have recently put together a tutorial about how to add a gathered skirt onto their Adrienne blouse. I will say it's pretty much like adding a gathered skirt onto any top. It's not particularly different or complicated. It's just 1.5 times the width of the bottom of the blouse. But I did adjust a little bit where it was sitting so that it's sitting a bit closer to my natural waist. But this is it. And I am so in love with the fabric that I've got here. I don't know how well it's going to come across in the video because I feel like colors are quite difficult. It is a gorgeous teal colored tencel jersey with these wonderful bright orange poppies. The color just contrasts so incredibly well against each other. It is a wonderful, beautiful, drapey, floaty fabric. It is super, super soft. I think this is going to feel so luxurious to wear. And what I like about this as well is I feel like I can wear it really kind of all year round. The tencel jersey I think is going to be really breathable, but also if I wear it with some thicker tights, I think I could easily wear it into the colder months as well. I added a label onto this one as well, onto the back, again, so that I'd know what the back and the front were. And this one I went for the Me Made label because I made it in May. Me Made May, it seemed about appropriate, and I used the thread to stitch in place that matched the orange of the poppies, so I thought that was quite cute. But yeah, I got this little gathered detail on the waist. I really love how this one turned out. I think it's going to be so fun to swoosh around in. It's got that lovely swoosh factor with the long floaty skirt at the bottom, and I think it's just so beautiful. That fabric came from Sewn Sunshine. It's my first time working with tencel jersey, and I don't know how I'm going to work with any other jersey again, guys. It is so dreamy to work with. I love it. The next items that I want to tell you about are my overalls that I've made, but I'm not going to get into them in a ton of detail because I've got a whole series of videos about these overalls, what they were like to make, and what I liked about each pair. But I will just show you so that you can see what they look like. This one is the Jenny overall, so it's a corduroy. This is a pine green corduroy needle cord from Higgs & Higgs. It's got classic overall details, so it's got these nice buckles and jeans buttons. Yeah, jeans buttons. There's a side lapped zipper here. So there's a zipper, it's unzipped, sorry, unzipped there with a little jeans button at the top as well. The back, it does not have a back bib, it's just got this crisscross of the straps and gives you a little peek into the lining that I've chosen for the inside of these, which is also matched on the inside of the straps. It's also the same lining that I've used on the pocket bags. I will put some pictures up. Like I said, if you want to see more about these overalls, there's way more videos and content. You can find out so much detail about them if you're interested. And then the other overalls that I made are the Heyday Dungarees. These are a Waves and Wild pattern. This is made in a beautiful blush pink linen from Sewn Sunshine, and I ended up doing a facing detail along the edge. Oh, I should show you the labels. So this one has got this really fun ironing is overrated label, which I thought was so perfect for linen. And this is made by a company called Intensely Distracted, a new sewing label company. So do check them out. I'll put a link down below if you want to check them out. And then the other overalls I need to show you. Let me just take off the various clothing clips and things, hangers keeping everything in place, keeping them nice and tidy. On these overalls, I put this label, which says slow fashion, and I did a little bit of embroidery, my version of embroidery. I'm not a very talented embroiderist, if that's a word, that says slow fashion, and I had to embroider it because it's slow fashion, right? That just makes sense. And I also used a pink that was very similar to the pink that was on the lining there, just to help pick up that little brightness on the inside. Both of those are from Intensely Distracted, so do check out that company. They've got all kinds of funny, quirky, unique sewing labels. I have also made a t-shirt this month, which is probably my favorite me-made t-shirt at the moment. It'll probably change some other time when I make something else, but I really, really love this one. This is essentially the neckline of the Agnes top from Tilly and the Buttons, and the sleeves are the Agnes sleeves, but the body is more like the body of the Basic Instinct tee by Secundo Second Piano, which is a body that I know fits me really well. I like the shape of it and it fits me really well around the bust. The Agnes top I feel like doesn't really fit my bust very well, and I even tried doing a full bust adjustment on that top and it still is just a bit too tight around the bust area. It ends up having little creases and folds, and I ended up just deciding to take a pattern that I know works, mash it together with the Agnes top, and this is what I got in the end. I really love the fit of it. The thing that makes this my favorite t-shirt is really all about the fabric. I love a novelty print, I'm very much a fan, but this has got little tacos all over it and these really cute bright colored hearts. It's in a crazy super duper soft cotton jersey fabric. It's an art gallery fabric. If you've ever worked with any art gallery cotton jerseys, you'll know how soft this stuff is. It's like almost like a brushed feel to them, really super soft and snuggly. But I saw this fabric when I was buying some other things from Minerva, and as soon as I saw it, I had to get it. Like, it felt so me. I am hugely into Mexican food. It is my favorite food in the world, and tacos are up there as a big, big favorite. And so I saw the tacos and I saw the little hearts and I thought, taco, love, I love tacos. This is going to be my taco love t-shirt. Anyway, I'm completely diverging, but I love the way this one turned out. I love the shape and the silhouette, and I think I'm going to use this as a basis for many t-shirts to come. I think it goes so well. The colors go so well with a whole lot of stuff that I've already got in my wardrobe. And like I said, it's so snuggly and comfy to wear. I just love it. And the last completed thing that I'm going to tell you about is my toaster sweater. The toaster sweater is a much loved and much known, and even by myself, sweatshirt pattern. This is a really beautiful cotton interlock fabric that I got from Guthrie and Ghani. I don't know how well the color comes up. I feel like it's so difficult to show these things. It calls itself apricot. It's like apricot color, but it has definitely got oranges, pinks, and yellow tones all into it. It's definitely got a bit of a marled look to the coloring as well. Cotton interlock, it's my first time working with this kind of fabric, and it is a stretch jersey fabric. I want to say it's a stretch. Yeah, it's a stretch fabric, but there's no elastane or lycra in it. It is just stretchy because of the way that it's woven. It's 100% cotton, and it's organic cotton as well. And it has got a lot, 40% stretch width-wise. There is no stretch vertically, so it's just a two-way stretch. So depending on the pattern, it might or might not be the appropriate one for you. It is beautifully soft, really beautifully soft, and it's very squishy. From the way that it's woven and the way that it's designed, it reminds me of like marshmallow. You know, you kind of squeeze marshmallow? That's what this feels like, which is just wonderful. I really, really love it. And yeah, I love the feel of this against my skin. I'm really going to enjoy wearing this one. And I love the bright color for this time of year. It feels very vibrant and springy and summery. And it's a little bit lighter weight than the other toaster sweater that I've worn. So it's not necessarily going to be super hot, but it will be just a nice snuggly layer. I also put a little Me Made label in there because, again, this is a pattern that I have done a full bust adjustment on this one already. So for this pattern, I end up making a small in the bust and a medium at the waist and the hip. But the bust, I also do a full bust adjustment, a 3-inch, I've written it down, a 3-inch full bust adjustment on the bust area. And I feel like that fits me really beautifully well. But the key features of this one is this gorgeous It's almost like a cowl neck, but it's basically got this really nice little neckline that snuggles up against your neck without feeling too restricted because it is quite loose. And because this fabric has a bit of drape to it, it's just so perfect for that kind of neckline. There's also a side slit in this with a little high-low hem, so the front is a little bit higher than the back. So I am really pleased with how that side slit turned out, both on the outside and then on the inside. There's a really beautiful metered corner there, and I feel like it just turned out so neatly. I'm really, really happy with it, and I love the finish, and I love how it feels, and I want to wear it all the time. I wore my, I want to call my winter toaster sweater, which is in like a sort of a deep burgundy color. I wore it all the time. So this one I know is going to be a real staple this spring, summer long as well. I've got a few things that are kind of works in progress that I've started or at the very least cut out. And one of them is the Blackwood cardigan by Helen's Closet Patterns. Just trying to see if I can find a piece of the fabric that's not all pinned together, because I've started pinning layers together. This is in a really nice rib knit. So this is a cotton rib knit from Sister Mintaka. It's got a great amount of stretch to it. What I really like about this fabric is it's definitely more of a medium weight fabric. It's got a lot of drape to it, but it's also quite heavy, so it really kind of swings and sways and swooshes around. And I feel like when you drape it against your body, you kind of feel it on you in a really cozy way. So I know this is going to be a really great staple and go with so much. I wanted a neutral colored Blackwood cardigan, Helen's Closet Patterns, I think I might have mentioned. And so that one's already cut out, and I've pinned a few bits together, but I just need to actually do a bit of sewing. I have also got fabric cut out for a Zadie jumpsuit. I'm conscious that I don't want to unravel this too much because I feel like this fabric is a little bit delicate. This is this gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous viscose lawn that I got from the Fabric Godmother. It is so lightweight, and it has like almost liquid drape. It is ridiculous how drapey and beautiful that is, and it is so super soft, like butter, like absolutely gorgeous against the skin. And this is going to be a Zadie jumpsuit. I'm going to do the long leg, so it's not going to be cropped, but I'm going to do the short sleeve just because I didn't have enough fabric to do the long sleeve for that one. But that is going to be coming hopefully relatively soon. I really do love the look of that fabric. I think it's going to be such a fun jumpsuit to wear. And then I've also got a couple of skirts that I've cut out and started making until I realized I didn't have the right width of elastic. So this is a kind of gathered section of a skirt that's going on to a smaller section of a skirt, which is going to be a sort of just above the knee length, shorter gathered skirt with an elastic waistband. This fabric is a Tencel pique. I hope you can see there's a little bit of a texture to it, almost like a diamond-y texture to it. It's pretty lightweight and drapey. It's pretty soft. I have not worked with Tencel fabrics before and wanted to give it a go. This color as well isn't necessarily a color that I gravitate towards. It's like a camel color, or maybe even like a caramel kind of a color. But I do really love the earthy tones, and I wanted to give it a go. I think I might have said that's from Sister Mintaka. And then I've also got an orange version of the same. So this is going to be gathered, and underneath this layer that's going to have the waistband. This gorgeous, let me show you not where there's a seam, this gorgeously vibrant orange Tencel fabric. This is a Tencel blend. I think it's like a Tencel modal bamboo blend or something like that. I'll put up on the screen if I'm getting that one wrong, but this one came from Sew Me Sunshine. I think it's such a fun color. It's really nice and soft and drapey. This one is more lightweight than the pique, so it's a little bit more swooshy around, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun to smoosh around in. I really like bright colors in the warmer weather, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun to pair with some of my funky t-shirts. Both of these are very similar to a ready-to-wear skirt that I already have, that I have worn almost to pieces, so I feel like these are going to slot in really nicely to replace that. So yeah, I feel like that's been a pretty productive month. I would love to hear if it's interesting to you guys to hear about my works in progress and what I'm working on, or if you'd rather just wait until I finished it and I can tell you about it then. I always enjoy hearing about people's kind of mid-process, what they're up to, what different stages they're at, and seeing partially completed stuff, but I totally get if other people aren't into it. So just let me know so that I can think about what I do for next month's Makes video. I am anticipating that my sewing speed is going to have to slow down at some point because I feel like I've been making a lot of stuff. But the fact that I've cut stuff out in preparation for next month makes me feel like I'm probably gonna manage to whip up quite a few things next month as well. If you wanna see my makes video next time or wanna check out any more of my other videos, please do hit that subscribe button. I hope you have all been finding time to do what you love this month, and I will see you all again before long. Bye!